What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben gaming video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. Today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now we are really getting close to some sort of information and further stuff about it, but the rumor today is that Switch 2 images have apparently leaked from China along with the specifications. So let's just zoom in here and have a little read through stuff. A post has been published on a Chinese forum which allegedly reveals the Switch 2 via production photos and mock-ups along with specifications which match those of the shipping manifest leak from several months ago. Take this as you will at present, as it's hard to verify the information. Here's what has appeared online so far. Now, I just want to say, as always with these types of videos, don't go and take this at face value. These are leaks, these are reports. I personally, to my audience on YouTube, like to keep you updated with the tech because we are all interested in it. So those people who will come on here and be like, oh, why are you bothering to talk about this? It's a leak. Because we're all interested. We're all human and we all have a excitement for this stuff, hence why you've even clicked on the video in the first place. We're all interested in this stuff, and the chances of the leak being true can be there, and it's interesting that this could be the console we will be using in 6 months time, for example. So we're all curious, we're all human. It's what we like to look into as enthusiastic gamers. Obviously the general people are not looking into this, do not care, but we're in the very minority enthusiast group who just likes to look at this stuff. So there's some product codes, the game console itself, the left Joy-Con, the right Joy-Con, the dock, right? That's the general product code they put for this thing. They've got a detailed configuration list, and you can read all this. It doesn't really reveal much information. The memory is interesting. They've got a little bit there, which is actually showing, I think it's going to be 12 gigs of RAM from this. What I'm gathering from this, I'm not a genius, so I can't understand this, but what people have been talking about from the leaks, it's going to be 12 gigs, which is actually really good news, because if we go Series S RAM, we can actually figure out the Series S RAM is only 10 gigs, which is going to be a nice upgrade, because we know all the developers have been coming out and complaining about the Series S RAM, so that is very interesting. 256 gigabytes of storage, which it's frustrating when you think that this thing is probably going to be priced at a base PS5, I would have personally thought, and you think the PS5 is a lot more powerful, and also 825 gigabytes or now a terabyte on the Slim, and it's 256, it's a lot less, and you know, it is what it is. A lot of the games are going to be far smaller in file size. It's UFS 3.1 and manufactured by KXIA, and it's 2,100 megabits per second. Megabytes per second, sorry. Megabits is the Mbps. The audio chip stuff here, you can really look into this. The NFC reader, obviously having that sort of stuff included, the microphone, the dual cooling fans, which is interesting, showing that this thing is going to be more powerful with this copper gaming heatsink, very unspecific. And yeah, the general fan models there, very interesting. Video signal conversions, DisplayPort to HDMI must be chip model. I don't know what that actually means, but it's going to support HDMI 2.1, which is interesting because I don't see this thing doing 4K 120 in any game, to be honest, especially natively. Video game console protective case model, I guess they're going to have some sort of I don't think that's the protective case. I think that's actually going to be like the casing probably of the thing. And then obviously these speakers left and right, and here's some basic manufacturing images that you can see here, which is very interesting. I like that they've increased the size of these buttons here. That looks like a really good thing to me. That's something I would have wanted from the first one. It's much more curved from that photo, and what you're seeing on the Joy-Con, I feel like that's far more curved than what we have on the current Switch at the moment, which probably is going to help the ergonomics and comfort of this thing. As you can see here, yeah, look how curved that is compared to what the other one is. So that's really interesting. Very much looks like an OLED. I don't know if this is supposed to be showing two different models of screen size or something. Maybe they're actually going to launch it with an LCD and then an OLED version, and the OLED is a little bit bigger or something on Switch and Switch XL, Switch 2 and Switch 2 XL, something like that. But anyway, very similar design. In fact, the fan vents look exactly the same as what we currently have. There's an additional button by the looks of it on the back of the Joy-Con here. I don't know if that would actually be in the right kind of place for your finger to hit that. So I think that could be pretty good. And again, it's kind of shown there. I think that's what that's trying to show. Anyway, that's it for those leaks, which is very interesting. I mean, if this isn't real, I would be surprised someone's gone through all this effort to do this mock-up and have some like sort of hardware and detailed images. It could be something that people have put together. People have done worse in the past and lied about it, but this is exciting. I'm somebody who's very much looking forward to the Switch. I think the biggest thing that I've always had a complaint about the Switch is at launch, the like support from third party, like getting some of the big titles like Skyrim on a handheld for the first time was really, really huge. And that was what drove me when I was watching the original Switch trailer and I saw the guy playing Skyrim on the plane, and I thought, right, that is something that I want, because when at the time I was traveling a lot more and being in different places more, having a handheld device that can play some of these big titles is just huge. But now you got to remember, we have a market with very, very big and very different and very powerful handhelds. Aya Neo, for example, the Steam Deck, which is the biggest one, the Asus ROG Ally, and even stuff like the PS Portal. As much as it's a streaming device, it enables you to play some of these bigger games if you've got the Wi-Fi for it at other places. Same with the Steam Deck, you can actually play some bigger titles. The ROG Ally is a very powerful device, and you can play tons of full AAA current games on that device, and some of them run incredibly well. So the Switch has a lot to keep up with. Obviously, it's not going to beat that on hardware. It's not going to be as powerful as a ROG Ally. It's just not, and people expecting that are very silly. But at the end of the day, this thing has the advantage of optimization specifically from developers for the game. So I'm excited. I want to see, my main thing when we do hear from Nintendo officially about this device, my thing will be, I want to see what games are coming to this device. I want to see what games are going to be patched. Is it backwards compatible? Are we going to see Hogwarts Legacy, for example, run maybe some of the better quality features with, I don't know, we've been hearing there's going to be a DLSS in this thing, so will we see better upscaling and things like that? I'm looking forward to it. I want to see big titles, big modern AAA titles coming to this device day one. I want to see the Assassin's Creed Shadows coming to this thing. I think that the fact that this current Switch is just getting titles like Hogwarts Legacy so far after, or in most cases, none of the titles, you're not seeing the Black Myth Wukong games coming to the Switch. You're not seeing any Call of Duties. Now, we've obviously heard like rumors from things from Microsoft in the FTC leaks about Call of Duty being supported on Switch. So I want to see that. I want to see these big titles. I'm not saying Black Myth Wukong's gonna run on this thing, but I want to see the big modern titles coming to these devices, because that's what, in my opinion, is going to sell this thing further than a normal base Switch, because it's very difficult to sell to the general public a better version of what you already have. We've seen that from Sony. Most people in the general public don't care. They're like, well, I've got one of these things. I've already got a massive game collection or massive amount of games that I could buy on the base Switch. Why do I want to go out and buy this? So they really need to sell to the higher end people who are like, man, this thing's actually running some of these big modern games. Maybe I go out and buy this thing instead of a PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5 base model if you haven't got that already. You know, people may want to go and do that. So you got to sell to those people. And I think that would be one way of doing it, having some of these next gen titles. If you've got 3 platforms, Series X and S, PS5 and Switch, getting these titles day one is going to drive a bit of competition as well as to where people are going to buy their games and spend their time, which means better hardware for everybody if the competition is there. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about these leaks. I'm interested to see what we're going to see. I hope we get some sort of an announcement. People are saying potentially in the next 6 weeks we could actually hear an announcement, which would be awesome. And people are saying that it's been bumped up since the PS5 Pro reveal, so they may want to actually show their hardware off a little bit earlier. So that's exciting. I'm excited to see what Nintendo bring, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye bye for now.